Okay, class, this video is going to cover the speech project, which is a culminating project dealing with units 1, 2, and 3. At the end of the presentation here, you'll find out your group member. You'll also find out how to log into your Google email address from the school, and you'll learn how to log into Google Classroom, since I now have all of that information for you. Okay, the first aspect of the project is you're going to be picking a project from a list of the top 100 speeches. I will show you the website towards the end of the presentation and show you some things on it and how to use it. You and your partner over the weekend will need to come up with a list of 5 from this list of 100 that you want to do as your presentation. Remembering there will be 11 groups. So there will be 11 different speeches since no one can pick the same. So on Monday after your quiz, we will go through a process of picking those speeches. So be prepared with at least 5. Your partner will be assigned randomly. You do not need to worry about necessarily meeting in person since we will be using Google Classroom and Google Slides. You will be doing most of it together online in shared documents. So don't worry about if you live close to them or not, because you have FaceTime, you have your cameras on your computers, and you have your shared documents. But you do need to plan accordingly because there will not be much, if any, in-time class time for this project. Now you guys are going to make a Google Slide presentation. It has to be Google Slides. And the reason it's Google Slides is because in using Google Classroom, all of the products that we will be using will be the Google aspects, because there will be ones that you will be sharing with me and with your partner. So you do not have to worry about actually emailing them to me or bringing them on a drive. They will already be in a folder on the on my desktop, and you will just present from there. Now, as part of the presentation, the requirements are you need to include all the SOAPs, so you're going to have to read the speech. Most of them you can also listen to or watch a video on with aspects to that, but you're going to have to analyze the speech. You're going to have to do the SOAPs, which means you're probably going to have to do some research on parts of it. You're going to need to include the methods of persuasion that we've learned in all 3 units, including ethos, logos, pathos, the organizational pattern. Is it a classical oration? Is it an induction? Is it a deduction? You're going to need to write a Toolman model to go with this, which is the other video that you have to write this week, that you have to watch this weekend. You're going to need to figure out the claims, and you're going to figure out the types of evidence that the author is using. Now, you must give evidence from the speech to support your claims. And then finally, you must include 2 rhetorical devices of your choice. What I mean by the rhetorical devices are the literary devices, the Sweet 16 plus 1. You need to have at least 5 slides in your presentation. You can include pictures, but you cannot include audio or video. Because we are limited on time on the presentations, because we only have 3 days and 11 groups to get through. I very much am limiting on this idea of time and audio and video. Another thing I must warn you about is that transitions are evil. I do not like transitions on slideshows because they waste time, and since we are trying to save time, please do not add funky transitions to your slides. This will be shared, like I said, with me, so do not worry about bringing it on a presentation. Time-wise, you'll have presentations will be 5 to 7 minutes long. There will be a timer in class that day that will be holding up signs for you. While I'm grading and listening, someone else will be timing. You will go through your presentation. Time must be divided evenly amongst your group. So someone does one slide, someone does the next slide, or you divide it by sections. Someone does SOAPs, someone does the persuasion. That is your decision, but you must make sure that your time is divided pretty close to evenly. Note cards are allowed. I don't want you reading directly from the slides. And being aware of presentation techniques. So the idea of twiddling your hair, playing with your sweatshirt, hands in your pockets, moving around a lot, not making eye contact with the audience are all things that I'm going to look at when you are giving your presentation. The other thing too is that other students will not have pre-read your speech. This doesn't mean that you are reading your speech to the class. This means, though, that at the beginning of your presentation that you do need to give a quick summary of the speech and what they're talking to, and that should be included up with the SOAPST. Logistics. Okay, so the presentation is going to be due on the 27th. You are essentially going to have 8 days to complete the assignment at the same time that we're completing the units and at the same time you're prepping for a Unit 3 test. You will sign up for a particular order probably on Friday of this coming week. And that's the order that we'll present in, but everyone must be ready to present on the first day. I will lock the slides on the first day, and you will not be allowed to make modifications. So if you realize you forgot something, you will not be allowed to go back in and change it. So it is very important that you make sure that you are prepared and ready to go on the first day. Presentation dates will take place on these 3 dates. We will take the test for this unit on Monday of that week, and then we'll present Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday is parent-teacher conferences. This is a 50-point assignment. You and your partner will probably not get the same grade. You will get the same grade on the content of the project, but you will not get it on the presentation aspect because each of your presentation skills will probably be different. Okay, so looking at some aspects here. First of all, before we pick partners, I want to show you the website. The website is called AmericanRhetoric.com. If you just Google search top 100 speeches or top 100 American speeches, you will find this list. It lists them in order from obviously 1 to 100. It gives you the speaker, the title of the speech, if there is an audio version available, if there's transcript aspects available, and a lot of them you can actually go onto YouTube and find videos as well that go with this. Now, there are some speeches you are not allowed to do, and the reason you're not allowed to do them is because we've either already covered them in class this year or you've covered them in your 9th and 10th grade classes previously. So the first of all, speech number 1, I Have a Dream by Martin Luther King Jr. You are not allowed to use this. You are also the Lou Gehrig speech is also on here, so you are not allowed to use that. There are male ones, there are female ones, but they're all within the last 100 or so years. All of them, I think, taking place in the 1900s. There's even one from Hillary Clinton. Popular ones in the past have been ones by Malcolm X, other ones by Martin Luther King, ones by Eisenhower, Roosevelt, Reagan. You can find a bunch of different ones here, and I wouldn't focus just on the top 10 or 15. I would actually go further down the list and look at some of the different types of topics that are available, because you'll find that there is a wide variety of speeches and topics available. Okay, so that's the website, AmericanRhetoric.com. Now, over the weekend, and this will probably be done tonight, I am going to email you to your email address that I have with regard to what you gave me at the beginning of the school year. I'm going to email you your Google email address through school, so this is your pillybos.org account, and I'm going to email you the password. Right now I'm going to show you how to log in, and I'm going to show you how to do the slides so that you are prepared for that, because over the weekend, how I know that you're into Google Classroom and stuff is that you actually make the account and you make the shared slides. So you're going to go to gmail.com. So just typing that into your web browser. You're going to go to, in my case, it's add an account. Because I have many other accounts going on here. So I'm going to add an account. I'm going to type in the email address. It's going to be your first initial and your last name with pillybos.org. It's going to go to the next thing. It's going to ask you to type in your password, which I will email to you. I'm typing in this one now. It will open up, and this will be your email. Now, it's going to ask you to go through a setup progress here. It's going to, if you want to learn how to use Gmail, if you want to change your profile image, if you want to put a signature on it, you can go through all of that. This is your inbox. This is the new email address that you will be using for every single aspect of the school from now on. So when you email a teacher, it should be through this one. When a teacher sends things to you, it will be through this one. We're in a transition period, so keeping that in mind, you will be still probably using both email addresses for a while. Now, if you look here on the top right, you will see a box of 9 squares. Clicking on that, you will see the Google Slides. I want you to go ahead and click on the slides. You can take a tour if you want to. The first time you open it, you will always have this option, but I want you to open a blank one. And I don't worry about formatting or anything like that. But what I want you to do first of all is I want you to go to Share, which is this blue button in the corner. And I want you to title your presentation. So you're probably for now just going to do speech presentation. You will obviously change that later because it'll actually match your speech. And I want you to add in your name, my name, and your partner's name. Okay, so making sure that you were sharing it with M. Kirkman. Okay, so all 3 of us are going to be able to look at it, to edit it. I will not be editing things on it, but the idea is that I will have that shareable aspect to it. So I will be able to see what both of you do. I will be able to see the equalness that you both put into the presentation. Okay, once you are done with that, I'm going to just close that. Once you are done with that, you can go back to your main Google page and you can scroll down and you will see Google Classroom. Now, if it doesn't show up here, then just type into the search bar Google Classroom. Google Classroom will open and it will ask you to get started using Classroom. You're going to verify that you're signed in properly, and you're going to do it as a student. Okay, here you're going to join your first class, clicking the plus button, and you're going to enter the class code. Now, the class code that you're going to enter is this one right here. Okay, I would write this down. I'm not sure if it's a capital O or if it's a 0, so I might try it both ways, but I'm going to copy and paste. GYIC8D. And you will just type that code in, and you will click Join, and it will take you to the class. Now, this is replacing Edmodo. You can take a tour of it. You have that aspect of it. And this is like I said, it's replacing Edmodo. I want you, when you get in here, just to answer this one question with one sentence. Do a submit on it so that we're getting you used to using this. But it's important that you get used to that aspect because this is where everything will show up, and I will go over this more in class. So I want you to do a shared Google slide with you and your partner and me, and I want you to get signed up on Google Classroom and answer this one question for me with just one sentence. Okay, now to the fun stuff. Partners. Okay. You and your partner. So I'm going to go through this rather quickly. So every 2 people I pick will be a partnership. The first one is Tamar and Nicholas. The second one is Hagop and Nairi. The third group is Tatiana and Anahit. The fourth group is Ani and Alik. The fifth group is Megri and Crystal. The sixth group is Gregory and Armin. The seventh group is Vaughn and Natalie. The eighth group is Savannah and Armon. The ninth group is Lily and Nodek. The 10th group is Arson and Natalia. And the final group is Annie and Alex. Okay, make sure that you do the required things of the Google shared slide, the signing into Google Classroom. I will email you your email addresses and your passwords tonight, so you have the weekend to do that. Remember, you're watching 2 videos and you're picking the 5 speeches with your partner. I will see you on Monday, and have a good weekend.